Okay, so in my class, I like you to turn in everything MLA style. And unfortunately, well, to be honest, I'm not even sure if everything I ask for is MLA style. But I have certain expectations, and those expectations contrast with the default settings of Word, Microsoft Word, and also probably Google Sheets or Google Docs, whatever. What I'm looking for when you turn something in, it needs to be double spaced consistently across the board. The line should be double spaced, and it should be simply double spaced between paragraphs, no extra spacing between paragraphs. The font needs to be 12 point, and the font style needs to be Times New Roman. Now, for some reason, the makers of Word, they like Calibri, 11 point. I don't know why they do that. Times Roman is more standard, but it's an easy fix. All you need to do is you go to this editing feature here, select all, select the whole thing, and then you're going to go here and you're going to right click and then go find yourself Times Roman. In mine, it's easy to find because I use it all the time. And also change that to 12 points. And now the font is correct and the font size is correct, but the look of it is still not correct. There's still a lot of problems. So one of the problems is that there's too much spacing between paragraphs and there's not enough spacing between the lines. So again, we're going to select everything, select all. We're going to right click, and now we're going to go to paragraph. Okay, and I want to show you these settings. I think Bill Gates does this to torture me. He or his minions set the line to multiple space 1.08. That's like a really arbitrary number. I don't know why they do that. Makes no sense at all. Your spacing for my class, and I would suggest probably all your classes, should be double spaced, simple double spaced. No fancy 1.08, just double spaced. Okay, so that it will look like that. Except that's not right either, because even though the lines are double spaced, Word for some reason is inserting extra space between the paragraphs. So you can see there's like extra space right there. So again, we're going to keep the select all on. We're going to go back to paragraph. And you see here where it says spacing before and after, that's referring to spacing before and after your paragraphs. We don't want any extra spacing before and after paragraphs. 0. Set it to 0. Okay, and hit OK. And now it's starting to look more normal. Okay, the space between the paragraphs is no different than the space between the lines. Now, this still isn't looking right, because if you notice, there's no indents for the paragraphs. Your paragraphs need to be indented. You could tab them, but I think the better way to do it is, again, we're going to go to editing. We're going to select all. We're going to go back to paragraph. And then up here where it says under indentation, we're going to go to first line. And when you choose first line, it's just going to automatically default to 0.5. And for once, that default is the default that we want. I never thought of this, but I'm going to set that as default for all documents based on the normal template. So now all my paragraphs are indented and evenly spaced. And that's what I like to see. By the way, though, it kind of messed with my heading, not my header, because I don't want, the heading should not be indented. But that's an easy fix. You just go and you backspace. And then this title should be centered, and that's also pretty easy to do. And now we have a paper. We can even close this to make it more visible. We have a paper that looks like a paper should look. One more thing, we need page numbers. The way I like to do this, the way I like to see it done, again, I believe this is MLA style. Go into your heading, your header rather. You do that by double clicking up here. Okay, and then right justify it. Okay, And now we want to go to Insert, and we're going to go to Page Number, top of the page. Well, no, let's do this, Current Position. Current Position, hit that. Plain number, nothing fancy. We do not want any of these fancy kinds of things, just plain 1. Okay, but there's a problem with that 1. The problem with that 1 is it's in Calibri 11-point font, so we're going to fix that. Make it 12 Times New Roman. And one more thing, you need to put your last name in front of every page number. So you just click to the left and just type in your last name, whatever that is, just one little space between your last name and the page number. Click on the document, and now you've got a pretty well formatted MLA style paper. Now in my class, I add a couple other things to the heading, but for the purposes of this this video, I'm going to keep it simple and just leave it like this. But this is what your paper should look like. Notice that there's no extra space between the heading and the title. There's no extra space between the title and the first paragraph. There's no extra space between any of the paragraphs. Okay? And that's really how it should be. Oh, and look, somebody's calling me. I guess that means it's time to stop the video.